complicated. I don't even know where to start with this. Alright, so war in Syria. And I have yet to see, I expected to see, I have yet to see the, haha, I told you so, you shouldn't have voted for Donald Trump because now war in Syria because he's a warmonger. Nonsense. That's not the way this went down. And I haven't seen that. I really haven't seen anyone making that argument with good reason. Because someone else said it. I can't take credit for it. Someone else articulated it quite well. They said, I don't think Donald Trump won the election. I think Hillary Clinton lost. And I think that's very accurate. There's this, Americans are very warlike. It's like a cliche. The Americans are just super warlike. America first, and blah, 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 blah. This isn't true. In fact, the last couple of elections, the last few elections, actually, the last 1, 2, 3, at least 3, were won by the peace candidate. Obama definitely was. The whole point of him getting elected was he wasn't George Bush. He campaigned very strongly on the I'm not going to war, I'm going to get us out of Iraq, I'm going to get us out of all these places, there's not going to be any war. And he is the first president to be in war every single day of his entire time in office. Hillary Clinton was during the campaign was actually jonesing for war with Syria. She was promising that we would go to war over Syria. No one wanted that. Americans nowadays being the last 12, 15 years or so, 15 years, goodness, a decade and a half, don't want to go to war. No one is defending this now. When Obama went to war with Libya, I had progressive liberals tell me how awesome it was. I was like, what is going on? Because this is something awful. Libya, God, this needs to be explained. There's so much to explain. The whole point of Libya was, during the Bush era, we had made, I need way more coffee and a new coffee mug. During Libya, yes, God, I got a cat yelling at me. Libya was an agreement with Muammar Gaddafi. And the agreement went something like this. If you disarm all of your nuclear weapons, and you make a good faith effort to stay away from the nukes, stay off those nukes, and you allow regular searches and stuff so we can verify that you have no nukes and you're not involved with nukes. In other words, it's totally a nuclear disarmament treaty. That's what this agreement was. Then if you do that, we as the United States will not depose you. If you do this, if you capitulate with this, that's the deal. Because the U.S. has a long, long history of deposing dictators, of constantly getting involved, where a lot of people now, myself included, would say that it probably doesn't belong. And during fucking Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton got on the air and bragged and laughed about it. I'm going to splice in some footage of this because people don't believe me. I flat out told people, this is a thing that happened. This was a disarmament treaty, and it was a joke. It was literally a joke to the administration.
So, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
Came, we saw, he died. Ha, ha, ha. Belly laughs. It's because, violating an international disarmament treaty to murder a dictator who you have an agreement with is apparently fucking hilarious. Now, why would anyone, any ruler anywhere on the world take any treaty with the U.S. seriously after this point? After this point in history, when the Obama administration goes to war with Libya. Why would they? Why? Someone else is going to be in office in 4 years. Why would we take any agreement with you seriously? Or, the guy coming after you is obviously just going to say, fuck it, laugh about it on TV and murder them. So that is, I think that would have some impact on all future negotiations with any potential nuclear power going forward. That was a disaster, and full-on liberals that I personally knew, people I knew, were not only defending it but cheering about it, cheerleading for it. It's like, holy crap, during the Bush administration there was actually a peace movement on the left, and then during the Obama administration, fuck it, we don't care. We just don't fucking care. And it's so frustrating to me. It's like we don't even care about these issues. It's just a matter of the guy we like. This behavior is awful unless the guy in office is someone we love. And then it's just the most amazing thing ever. It's why I really, really strongly dislike our current president. I do not like Donald Trump. Not at all. But I like the fact that he is in office. Because I don't like the reason, but the reason is quite simple. If he's popular, any shitty thing he does is justified. If everyone hates him, and generally everyone hates him, not even his own party likes this guy, then everything he does is given extraordinary scrutiny. Even things he does that are kind of like not bad or even good are just, oh, fuck this is awful. I mean, it was great when Barack Obama was doing this, or even Bill Clinton, but when this guy does, oh, fuck this guy, and that's bad. But if that's the way it's going to be, then the only course I see is to have a super unpopular president all the time. I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's not that Trump won the last election. He really kind of didn't. Almost half of the voting population in the U.S. didn't vote. Looked at these two and just said, no. Just flat out no. I'm a lifetime, at this point, libertarian. I wasn't going to vote for either of them anyway, but looking at them, I'm like, I can totally empathize with what was it, like 47%? Something like that, 47, 48, somewhere in that neighborhood. 47% of the population just looked at these two and just said, I'm out. No, these two do not have my support. Because Trump was awful, and Trump is a train wreck, but Clinton is a fucking dumpster fire. Awful, awful candidate. And right after the election, a full year after it, there's still this, holy crap, how did this happen? How did Donald Trump get elected? It's a fucking mystery. It's like, no, you have this awful, incredibly warmongering candidate who is Hillary Clinton, who's entitled and completely above the law. She doesn't seem that way. She is, in fact, above the law. And they hated Donald Trump slightly less. I mean, it's an unpopularity contest, and Clinton won on a technicality. As far as the war in Syria, it's going to be another awful, pointless war. Part of the reason I'm making this video, I just want to make it somewhere, somehow recorded that I am not in favor of this. I'm not in favor of the last one. I'm not in favor of the war in Libya when that was coming out. Not in favor of this one. The whole point, well, not the whole point, but one defensive point of kind of backing Trump in the last election was he was not going to war with Syria, and lo and befucking-hold. I mean, it's nothing. This should not be a surprise. This is the least surprising thing ever. This shit is this is predictable as a sunrise. Barack Obama was the same way. Bush was the same way too. Bush's whole thing was, the last one was, he was a pure economic conservative. He is totally going to back, economic conservative principles. Scale back the government, scale back the debt. Last year in office, the last budget he had control over, $485 billion deficit. between what we spent and what we took in as far as the federal government goes. It was outrageous. Granted, Obama tripled that in his first year, but still, that's abysmal. These people are either fucking liars or helpless or incapable. It's like there was going to be a war with Syria, and no matter what the voting public wanted, it was going to happen. We could vote specifically for the guy who was buddies with Putin and who was specifically opposing Hillary Clinton's rhetoric about, yeah, we have to go to war with Syria. And then here we are, like 2 years later, and here we are again. Here we are all over again. And I think I've run out of steam, so I'm just going to stop this here. But maybe I'll do more, because I really want to talk about this and think about this. There's a lot to articulate, a lot to unpack.